Most people move through life in constant mental noise. They're either thinking about the future or they're replaying the past, reacting to everything happening around them. And slowly, without even realizing it, we lose touch with something very important: stillness. But the truth is that stillness is never actually gone. It's always here, waiting for you to return to it. You might be a little bit gone in future and past and thinking about this and replaying that, but stillness is always present. It's always there underneath the noise. The world today is very, very chaotic. There's constant movement. There's constant stimulation, whether that be through our phones or through whatever, constant information. And if we're not careful, the mind can become like pulled in 1,000 different directions, from notifications on your phone to other responsibilities to expectations of certain things, thoughts about what might happen tomorrow, memories about what already happened yesterday. And over time, this constant activity creates this kind of like inner turbulence, a feeling that something is kind of like pulling at our attention. And beneath all of that movement, there is something much deeper, and there is stillness. And returning to that stillness, even for just a few moments throughout your day, really can start to bring about a shift in your life, and it can help you detach from those things and come more into an inner peace. Stillness doesn't really change your outside circumstances, obviously, but it does change how you experience things and how you start to relate to things too. So in this video, I want to share 3 simple ways you can return to stillness throughout your day. Practices that allow you to step out of the chaos of the mind and even in the chaos in the outside world and come back into alignment with the natural flow of life. The first doorway back to stillness is something incredibly simple: your breath. Your breath is always happening in the present moment. It's never in the past and it's never in the future. It literally is just always here in the present moment. And when you bring your attention to the breath, something interesting begins to happen. The mind starts to kind of slow down, not because you're forcing it to or whatever, but because your attention has shifted away from whatever's going on in your life, like whatever you're thinking about. So at different moments throughout your day, just simply pause and take a conscious breath and put your full attention on the breath. Feel the inhale entering the body and feel the exhale leaving the body. Just one breath. And in that simple moment of awareness, the mind begins to soften and the body starts to relax and stillness becomes available again. This can happen anywhere. You can do this wherever you are at any point during the day, while you're working, while you're going for a walk, even just sitting in your car. Just one conscious breath. And suddenly you're no longer lost in thought and thinking about this and that and the other thing. You're just simply present in here. The second doorway to stillness is awareness of the body. Most people spend their lives almost entirely in their heads, thinking, analyzing, planning, whatever it is. But the body is always rooted in the present moment and in stillness. And when you bring your awareness into the body, something powerful happens. Your attention moves from thinking into feeling. So just for a moment right now, bring your attention to your hands. Simply feel them. Maybe you notice a subtle warmth, maybe a faint tingling, or simply the quiet sensation of aliveness in your hands. You can almost feel an energy kind of permeating throughout them. Now bring your awareness to your feet. Feel the contact between your feet and the ground. And now try just to become aware of your entire body. Not thinking about the body, but just feeling it from within. Just a field of quiet aliveness. And when you rest your attention there, the mind naturally becomes quieter. Because you are no longer living only in thought. You are present. You are in stillness. And this practice can be done anywhere. Standing in line, again, walking down the street, sitting at your desk. Simply return your awareness to the body. And stillness begins to appear again. The third doorway to stillness is something very subtle, and it is listening to silence. Right now, there may be sounds around you, maybe distant traffic, maybe the hum of the room, maybe the sound of your own breathing. But behind every sound, there is silence. And when you become aware of that silence, something remarkable happens. Your attention moves beyond the mind, beyond thinking, and into a deeper space of stillness. So instead of focusing only on the sounds, you want to start to begin to notice the quiet space in which those sounds appear. You can even do this while I'm speaking. Pay attention to the space between the words, the silence behind them, and just simply rest your attention there in that quiet openness. Even in a busy place, silence is always present, and becoming aware of it gently brings you back into stillness. Something I began to notice over time, practicing this is that every time I pause and return to stillness, whether it be through my breath, through the body, through listening to silence, life started to feel different. And not because circumstances suddenly changed in my life, but because my relationship to those circumstances changed. I started to become more intuitive. I started to make better choices. I just felt more clear-headed, and I'm able to speak more clearly and respond better and observe better. And it really helped me to start taking what I feel for me is the right course of action in my life. And I just felt more at peace and more calm and more still. And I just felt better. Now, obviously, doing this isn't going to remove the challenges in your life, but it helps you to relate to them better. And you end up making better choices in your life, coming back to stillness and back to the breath, because you're no longer in your head, you're no longer overthinking things or analyzing things, you're just more grounded. And for me, it was definitely this thing where stuff with my relationships with people, I noticed that I just had more peace of mind when I would do this, and I just felt calmer, better, more relaxed. And I would get intuitions that would kind of come in, not forcing them, but I would just get a sense about something. And when I followed that, it always worked out. So for me personally, practicing this has been incredibly beneficial, and it can be for you too. The more you practice returning to stillness throughout your day, the more natural it becomes. You begin to move through life with greater clarity, greater calm, a greater presence within yourself. You still work, you still interact with people, you still do what you're normally doing. You still move through the responsibilities of your life, but you're no longer completely carried away by the mind, and you're no longer just in your head about everything. And the more that you can return to stillness, the more you come into peace and quiet and aligned action. So throughout your day, remember these 3 simple returns. Return to the breath, return to the body, and listen to silence. Each time you do this, you step out of the noise of the mind and reconnect with the deeper stillness that has always been within you. And from that stillness, life begins to flow. I'll see you in the next video.